What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to do a stimulus package, stimulus check update, and we have some promising news today, and we'll have to see what happens the next couple of days, but we might have an agreement coming very, very soon. And you guys know me. I very rarely will put stuff out there like that and say, oh yeah, we're getting an agreement. But Nancy Pelosi, she's indicated, she's very optimistic. She's been saying that for the last couple of days. She said today that they're getting closer. I'll show you guys a video. This video was before she met with Steven Mnuchin, but it looks like the meeting did go well. And so we'll just have to see what comes of this, but it looks very, very promising. And hopefully we can get something done and at least get something on paper in the next couple of days. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So I'm going to show you guys a video in a second. We're also going to talk about the skinny bill. I want to talk about the skinny bill. Because that was up today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified. We do daily videos and live streams on the weekends. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the skinny bill. Now, the skinny bill, you know, Mitch McConnell said, hey, you know, let's do a skinny bill again. Let's try to vote on this again. And so both skinny, or I won't say both skinny bills, the PPP funding that failed yesterday and the skinny bill failed today. So they didn't get the 60 votes that they needed in order to kill a filibuster or to end a debate. So these are provisional votes that happen. So it wasn't the actual vote, but they do the provisional vote first just to see if they have 60 votes. If they have 60 votes, then they move forward. If they don't have the 60 votes, then in order for them to go forward, they have to open it up for debate. And if they open it up for debate, basically what happens is the Congress people who are opposed to the skinny bill will come on the floor and just waste time, basically. So the skinny bill did not happen. And so I don't know about you, but I did not like the skinny bill, and I'm actually glad that it didn't pass. So now we can focus on this big bill that everybody is interested in seeing. So right now I'm going to show you a video. I'll show you a video of Nancy Pelosi. And like I said, this is some promising news. Just listen to how she's talking. She's pretty upbeat about the whole situation. And then we're going to talk about it on the other end. All right, let's go ahead and take a look.
Joining me now is Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Madam Speaker, thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to ask you, where do we stand? Because you were notably optimistic, even though the time is so short, your deadline has come and gone, but the talks were going well with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. But now we're hearing this from the majority leader. What's going on?
Well, thank you. I'm pretty happy. I think we have a prospect for an agreement. I do not believe.
Okay, so she said, I think we have a prospect for an agreement. So that's good. That sounds like they're moving forward. So let's go ahead and continue.
That our timetable has come and gone. We had a purpose in the timetable, which is that we would establish where we were. Freeze the design on your position. No more discussion about that. What is your position? And that is what we are coming to conclusion about now. There's some delay on the part of the Republicans about the appropriations piece of it, but I hope that will be resolved. The secretary will be back in conversation with us later today, and hopefully that will be resolved. So it's just a question then of weighing the equities. Is this worth that? And but we do need more money, and we needed it to be spent in a way to crush the virus, and they finally have arrived at that after all these months, and we have more that we can do. My view is that there's no reason that America's schools shouldn't be the safest place in America for our children to go to learn. It takes some money for more classes, more teachers, more ventilation, more technology and the rest. But it takes not that much more money to make it safe. If children can go to school, children learning, parents earning, parents can go to work. And if not, we have to have more childcare, and that's part of our discussion right now. But I'm optimistic because even with what Mitch McConnell says, we don't want to do it before the election, but let's keep working so that we can do it after the election. We want it before. But again, I want people to know help is on the way. It will be bigger, it will be better, it will be safer, and it will be retroactive.
All right, so she's saying help is on the way. And it looks like they had a hang up when it came to the Democrats and Republicans, or at least the Democrats in the White House, when it came to the whole testing, tracing, and the vaccine and all that. So the funding for that. So it looks like Nancy Pelosi is satisfied with the funding now for that. So she's excited about that. And she's also talking about retroactive pay. So that's something that's interesting as well. So help is on the way and it will be retroactive is basically what she's saying. So all this stuff sounds really good. Let's go ahead and continue.
Well, let me ask you this. The president has said he wants an even bigger deal than the Democrats. And he acknowledges not every Republican agrees with him, but he said that they will. You know, what are you hearing? Are you confident the president is going to go along with what you and Secretary Mnuchin are talking about?
Well, I wouldn't even be having these discussions if we didn't think the president had some sway as to whether the Senate would take this legislation up. The election is coming soon. We know that the new Congress and new president are just 2.5 months away. We don't want to wait that long. We want to get something done for the American people as soon as possible. Our bill is over 5 months old. They finally came to the table. And I think, well, it's up to the president to convince people in his own party. But you have to also remember how hard that is, because some of them really don't care to spend any more money to crush the virus, to make our schools safe, to honor our heroes, to put money in the pockets of the American people that is so needed. But I'm optimistic that there will be a bill. It's a question of, is it time to pay the November rent, which is my goal, or is it going to be shortly thereafter and retroactive? So again, we're in a better place than we have been. And the goal that we had for up until last night was for us to stake out our positions so that it's no more movement, and then again come to an agreement. I'm optimistic.
And I know the staff have been working on actual language for the last couple of days, so you've gotten quite a head start, and that's a big lift. But have you gotten anywhere on big obstacles like state and local government, which was so important to you and the Democrats in Congress, and which the president was, railing against, frankly?
Well, a couple of the things that are still outstanding are, of course, the amount that we would spend on state and local, honoring our heroes, our healthcare workers, our first responders, police and fire, food workers, transportation, sanitation, our teachers, our teachers, our teachers. The safety of our school and the well-being of our school depends not only on our allocation for COVID-19, but it also depends on how we support state and local government, where most of the money for education comes from. So that affects just almost about everything: health, transportation, and the rest that make our lives function. And then the other bookend to that is liability, where they're sending essential workers to work. If they don't go, can't get unemployment insurance. They could be in a dangerous situation, have no recourse if the strong OSHA standards are not kept. Safe schools, safe workplace, these are values. They're not issues, they're not provisions, they're values. One other challenge that we still have is about how we treat restaurants and small. This has emerged since 5 months ago. The restaurants and the small venues, additional help for restaurants. We had that before. And that's something I'll be talking to the secretary about when he comes in at 2:30. But not to give his schedule. He's not coming in at 2:30. That's when we'll be talking. But in any event, it is none of it is insurmountable if you want to make a decision. And as I say, and he says to me, and I say to him, why would I even be talking to you if we didn't think that we could and need to have a decision and an agreement? And by the way,
okay, let me stop that. So it's interesting. She didn't answer the question as far as, have you guys come to an agreement when it comes to state and local? I think that's very important for us to know, because that's one of the issues that they were having. The Republicans, I think, came up to $300 billion. Democrats were $400 plus billion. Have they come to an agreement? She did not answer that question. So, I guess she's saying that she still needs to talk to Stephen Mnuchin about the whole numbers when it comes to that. But we'll have to see. She seems a lot more upbeat and not as defensive. Now, granted, she's on MSNBC. It's probably it's more of an easy interview for her, but she still does seem like things are moving in the right direction. And she said this twice, as far as I would not be talking with you guys, wouldn't be talking with the media if she didn't think that there was something that was going to happen. As far as if they were moving forward, she would not be talking to the media, especially saying that things are coming. So, be basically telling the American people, just wait, we're getting there. So these are all good signs. Let's go ahead and continue.
Crush the virus, crush the virus, crush the virus. It's long overdue. Look what's happening in our country. Finally, they have agreed that they would recognize the disparity in the communities of color, that the toll that this is taking. More minority people of color are dying from COVID than white people. A child who's 5 years old, a black child has 5 times more chance of going to the hospital with COVID than a white child. An Hispanic child, 8 times more chance. I mean, as a mom, and a grandmother, that to me is the most convincing argument. We have to crush the virus.
Now, I also want to ask you about a report in the New York Times based on the tax records that they obtained.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and stop it there. That tax return about Chinese President Trump might have bank accounts in China or something like that. So that's a whole nother story. I want to stick to the stimulus package, stimulus check stuff, but it sounds good. I mean, it sounds very promising, and now I'm upbeat, and hopefully this will mean something, and maybe we'll get more information tomorrow. But it does look like we're moving in the right direction. Now, the focus, and she said this a couple of times, as far as will the vote be before the election or soon after the election? And like I said to you before, and I've said this plenty of times, if it's after the election, it's going to be really hard for some of these senators or some of the Congress people, period, to really want to focus on that, especially if they've lost. If they've lost, they might not have any motivation at all. They probably won't have any motivation at all. So I think you're taking a risk if you do that, but I'm thinking this could be the strategy when it comes down to this whole situation. And I think if Nancy Pelosi and the White House come to an agreement, Nancy Pelosi can bring it on the floor of the House. They can vote on it, approve it. It will now give cover to all the Congress people who are running for re-election. They can at least say, we got it passed. Now, I think the problem is going to be in the Senate. And I think most people believe that. Like, the senators have already said that there are senators that are not on board to pass another stimulus package. And I think what Mitch McConnell is looking at, and the reason why he's warning the White House, look, wait until after the election, is because if he brings it to the floor and it does not pass, that's going to hurt the president, as well as it's going to hurt the senators, some of these senators in these tough races. And so I think that's his strategy. Wait until after the election, then they can vote on it after the election. Hopefully it passes. We all want it to pass, but it will give cover to some of the senators right now who nothing's been done in the Senate. So at least they can say, at this point, nothing's been done, but the House passed something, so we'll vote on it as soon as the election is over. And then it's also going to give the president some cover because he can say, you know what, we're halfway done. As soon as the election is over, we'll go ahead and vote on the rest. So I think that's what they're trying to do here, because I think Mitch McConnell knows it's going to be tough to get this through the Senate. So I don't know what you guys think, but let me know down below if you think that would be something that sounds about right, because it looks like Mitch McConnell does not want to do anything with this before the election. He wants to focus on the Supreme Court nomination and not do anything when it comes to another stimulus package, at least not right now. So it looks like they will consider it after the election, but as long as we have the language and the House passes it, then when it goes to the Senate, then we can really, push for that. Now, if there's some real big changes in the Senate, that will benefit. Like if let's say the Democrats take over the Senate, well, let's say they can't get anything done in the next 2 months. So from November to December to January, well, we might be looking at something early February. I know that's a ways away, but I'm just saying that could be the strategy as well. When Democrats are looking at this whole situation, Nancy Pelosi is looking at this whole situation, where if we can't get anything done right now, we can still get something done in the future, as long as they can take over the Senate. Now, if they don't take over the Senate and you still have senators in there that aren't really focused on moving forward with another stimulus package, well, then we're going to have a whole new situation to deal with. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. Hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified, and I'll talk to you in the next one.